Today on Fresno State Focus, we'll tell you who qualifies for stimulus checks and how much money you will be getting.
Gyms are now closed, but that shouldn't stop you from working out. We'll show you how a Fresno State graduate is giving free live workouts to students.
And we'll show you how parents are stepping up in this pandemic by becoming another teacher for their children at home. Fresno State Focus starts now. Hello, and welcome to Fresno State Focus. I'm Daisy Ramirez.
And I'm Mayra Franco. We're bringing you this show from our own homes as we continue to shelter in place. We just got back from spring break, but many students didn't get to fulfill their spring break plans because of the coronavirus pandemic.
We hope you stayed home and at least got some rest from schoolwork.
Did you get your stimulus money yet? Maybe you're wondering when you will and how much you will be getting. Due to the coronavirus outbreak, the federal government is sending out $1,200 checks, but not everyone is getting the same amount. The number is based on your recent income tax and the number of dependents. Here's who will not get a check: anyone who makes more than $99,000 a year, and college students or adults who are listed as dependent on someone else's tax return. Also left out are immigrants who do not have a social security card. If you're curious to find out the amount you will be getting, you can check out the IRS calculator online.
Fresno County is getting its first public coronavirus testing lab. The county and Fresno State are partnering to open the lab. This temporary COVID-19 lab will be inside the Jordan Agricultural Research Center on the Fresno State campus and could open by the end of this week. Fresno County health officials say that the lab is going to help with the county's lack of public testing labs and will be able to process results for 40 to 60 people a day. It will focus on testing for medical professionals who are working on the front lines of this pandemic and need test results as quickly as possible. The health department wants to make it clear that this is not a testing site. They are simply processing specimens.
The face mask shortage is sparkling creative solutions. As more people in the Central Valley are wearing face masks to prevent the spread of COVID-19, many are creating their own. Amanda Lynn Rivera wanted to help others. She's using leftover fabrics to create washable face masks.
This is something that, I do all the time. I sew at home, and I'm just glad that people have came to me and be like, hey, can you make me a mask? Oh, can you do this? I'm like, yeah, it's perfectly fine.
Rivera will continue to sew face masks for anyone who requests them. She is also shipping her mask across the country.
Staying connected is a priority for many as we shelter in place, and Fresno Unified Superintendent Bob Nelson has been doing just that, staying connected. Bob Nelson is connecting to his students in a special way with weekly videos on YouTube. In each video, Nelson chooses a children's book that helps students come to terms with the changes happening in their lives at this moment.
What got me is parents were videoing images of their kids watching me read and then sharing that with me. And I thought, oh my gosh, this is actually much bigger than I thought it was originally. And so then it kind of took on a life of its own.
One of those parents is BRITTNEY Waters. She shared these videos with Nelson and expressed her emotions over the positive impact this has on her daughters, Aubrey and Ava.
I was crying. I was bawling. Aubrey and Ava were really happy, but I was just crying because I never really understood how important the human connection is.
Waters' daughters enjoy watching Nelson share a story each week. Regularly seeing their superintendent gives them a sense of familiarity while they shelter in place away from school.
This has been very hard on me, mentally, emotionally, and I am very grateful. We have the resources that we need. We have the technology. I work for an amazing school district. Bob is very supportive of me trying to balance everything.
Finding gratitude can change the way you view the world's current situation. The Waters and Bob Nelson are choosing to stay positive.
And floated. Look at that meerkat floating.
Staying positive, staying connected, and finding gratitude in our world's current situation will go such a long way. It is great to see schools interacting with their students.
Each one of us is transitioning in one way or another during this unprecedented time. Our classmate Nadia Gonzalez shows us how her sister and 4-year-old nephew are trading preschool for homeschool. Parents are stepping up, and while they make their adjustments, they are helping their little ones adjust too. Nicole Tolbert has made it a priority to show her 4-year-old son, Wyatt, how to stay focused on school and being active, even though things may be a little different while they shelter in place.
He understands, that we have to stay home and try to protect ourselves, and it limits family time and friend time.
Mom and Wyatt stay busy with schoolwork and fun activities too. The two are home together while Dad continues to travel for work. Wyatt's friends write letters to each other. Wyatt reads his favorite books and practices his alphabet every day. Bike rides and creative time are on the schedule too.
Usually around this time of year, music festival season is in full swing. Unfortunately, because of COVID-19, many festivals around the country are postponed. Burning Man Coachella and the Electric Daisy Carnival are postponed until the fall in order to prevent any spread of COVID-19. All of these festivals bring in the large crowds and aren't the most sanitary, considering they are all held in the desert where there is limited access to clean water. However, festival goers are still in the high spirits with their own quarantine festivals at home, like Coachella instead of Coachella.
The world of sports has been on pause due to the coronavirus. Different sports have been thinking outside the box to keep viewers entertained. In basketball, we have seen the players trade in their basketballs for their controllers. March 12th is known as the day sports stopped. Since that date, we have seen professional sports leagues such as the NBA, NHL, and MLB either suspend or delay their seasons due to the coronavirus. Basketball has come up with a way to keep fans entertained with video games with the NBA 2K Players Tournament.
That was a nice little situation. Hold that though. Hold that though. Where you going?
16 players competed against each other for a chance to become the 2K champion and receive a $100,000 charity donation to support coronavirus relief efforts. Devin Booker of the Phoenix Suns defeated his own teammate, DeAndre Ayton, to be named the 2K tournament champion. Basketball isn't the only league putting their video game skills to the test. Baseball is hosting a Players League where one player from each team competes against other players on the baseball video game MLB The Show. Over the next 3 weeks, these players will compete in the MLB The Show Players League to see who is the best baseball video game player. $5,000 will be donated to charity for each player, and the champion will receive a $25,000 donation for the Boys and Girls Club and their community.
Let's go. Let's go.
Fans can watch the Players League through live streams on the MLB social media pages and Twitch. Fans continue to wait patiently for the return of sports as leagues continue to map out different plans on how to possibly adjust their games to the current environment.
With gyms closed, people are finding ways to get their workout in, and a Fresno State graduate is offering her help. I talked with her about her free live workouts you could do at home anytime.
We've got a really good lower body workout.
Kinesiology graduate Morgan Ashley Spiegel is offering students her help at no cost. She posted her offer in the Fresno State Book, Trade, and Advice Facebook group.
Monday and Thursday are always going to be total body. And then Tuesday and Friday are always going to be lower body. And then Wednesday and Saturday are always going to be upper body.
That is free live workouts. Her Facebook post exploded.
About 100. And I reached out to maybe 50 more because there was over 150 likes.
You don't need a yoga mat or even dumbbells. All you need is yourself and your cell phone. That's part of all. You could do it outside or even inside.
You don't have dumbbells? Okay, grab a water bottle. You don't have a water bottle? Grab a fur baby, okay? Grab your cat, grab your dog. You don't have that? Grab your actual child. Okay, you don't have that? Grab a vacuum. Like, everyone has to have a vacuum, right? So there's so many different options. We have to get creative, but that's the fun part of it.
These 30-minute workouts are for everyone, even beginners.
The workout schedule was intimidating, but after talking to people, my nerves calmed down a little bit more. And then on top of that, it's not mandatory.
Even regular gym goers are staying active with their home workouts.
I do like home workouts, and they're mainly inspired by like people on Instagram or like YouTube workouts.
The importance of it all is staying active.
And there's hope. There's a way to get through this, especially without it damaging our the way we think and our brain. And I think that the solution is exercise and working your brain.
Keeping it safe and staying active at home.
Oh, you're done. Spiegel and her friends also made an entire week's worth of workouts, all for free. You can find her Facebook and message her for more information.
For a lot of us guys, our relationship with our barber is one of the most important in our life. But because of the coronavirus pandemic, we're under orders to stay home except for essential trips. Barbershops and hair salons are closed because they're classified as non-essential businesses. But some people are figuring out ways of keeping their hair looking fresh without having a barber available.
I can still at least, shape it or just comb it in a way where it doesn't necessarily look super unorganized or uneven or messy or anything like that. You can still do something about it. There's nothing that prevents you from looking good.
Not only can you try new hairstyles with the mane you have, there are also barbers going to YouTube teaching people how to cut their own hair during these trying times. I cut my hair every 2 weeks, but I'm on week 6 without a haircut, and my hair's getting a little crazy, as you guys can see, but I'm going to try and wait it out, and hopefully when everything opens up, I can go to my barbershop and get a fresh haircut.
Many people have been panic buying since the beginning of the coronavirus outbreak. Most essential items at stores are flying off the shelves, and one item in particular is now selling out fast. Now, with hair salons and barbershops closed, people are clearing the shelves, buying hair dye and other hair products. Some of the other items still in short supply include hand sanitizer, paper towels, toilet paper, and over-the-counter medicine.
People didn't anticipate being in quarantine for so long, and people who normally get their hair dyed are buying a lot of the box dyes, and it just shows that a majority of the population dyes their hair.
Being in quarantine means there's more than enough time to dye your own hair. Or if you're looking for a way to stay busy, experimenting with colors could be fun during this stay-at-home order.
It's a new world we're living in. Essential workers share with us how they're adapting their lives amidst the changes. We'll see how pharmacy techs are doing it, and how essential workers in the news industry are getting their jobs done in non-traditional ways.
I'm Melissa Munoz, and we're finally having some nice spring weather. It's been a while. I'll have your focus on weather next.
I got the bulldog spirit up in my head.
Up in my head. Up in my head. I got that bulldog spirit up in my head. Up in my head to stay. I got that bulldog spirit deep in my heart. Deep in my heart. Deep in my heart. Got that bulldog spirit deep in my heart. Deep in my heart to stay. I got that bulldog spirit down in my toes. Down in my toes. Down in my toes, I got that bulldog spirit. Down in my toes, hey! Down in my toes to stay. I got that bulldog spirit. Up in my head, deep in my heart. Down in my toes, I got that bulldog spirit. All over me to stay. I got that bulldog spirit.
Deep in my heart.
Deep in my heart, deep in my heart. I got that bulldog spirit.
For many people, spring is the time to go for a walk, be outdoors and enjoying the warm weather. However, as Carla Castaneda shows us, for many others, spring brings uncomfortable seasonal allergies.
As beautiful as the blossoms are, many people dread seeing them. Isabella Rosales knows as soon as the flowers start to open, she is in trouble.
Most of the time I get really sick during the springtime, like basically every single day if I decide to go outside.
Rosales suffers from seasonal allergies. About 1 in 5 people in the U.S. experiences sneezing, watery eyes, and runny noses because of the springtime pollen.
I usually feel very congested, like I get like a runny nose, my eyes get really watery, my face just feels like really heavy, I'm just sneezing all the time. And I feel very down.
The Allergy and Asthma Foundation says Americans spend $18 billion a year to fight allergies. The remedies might vary.
I do immunotherapy now, so I go once a week to get shots in both my arms with an antigen that's formulated based on what I'm allergic to. And then it's supposed to help my system learn to not react to that allergen.
Here are some other recommendations by the Allergy and Asthma Foundation for over-the-counter allergy medicine.
I just kind of take a Claritin, like some type of medicine to get rid of my allergies.
In Fresno, Carla Castañeda, Fresno State Focus.
If you have any of the symptoms mentioned, please visit your doctor. Remember, sniffling, watery, scratchy eyes, sneezing does not mean you have coronavirus. Signs of that are more respiratory if you're having real trouble breathing.
I'm Los Munoz with your focus on weather. We're going to begin with this beauty shot taken by one of our colleagues. In where? Modesto, California. You can see these beautiful blue, clear skies. And you can hear even the children laughing in the background. It looks like it's going to be a great day just to go around, take a walk, or even just enjoy some sports.
Taking a look at the National Weather Satellite, you can see a large amount of severe rain all throughout the East Coast. Now looking into the Western Satellite, there is also some rain passing into Idaho, Colorado, and mostly Wyoming. Now off to the coast, there is also some spottings of rain in the distance heading to California. Looking into the regional satellite, there are no signs of precipitation or clouds for today. Everything looks all clear in the Central Valley. Speaking of allergies earlier, did you feel like sneezing today? Here on our air quality, Fresno, Kings, and Tulare County are all moderate, while other counties are all green. Currently, we are in the low 80s with Fresno at 81, Madera 80, Los Baños 82, and down south with Visalia and Portersville at 80 degrees. For tonight, all the lows will be in the 50s where Fresno is 54, Los Baños, Visalia, Hanford, Mendota in 52, and Oakers at 45 and Chevrolet at the 39. Now on to our extended outlook for the week. Today and tomorrow are the highest for the week at 81, but slowly dropping to Monday. Lows are going to be all in the mid-50s, and you could expect some chance of showers this Friday, but it's going to be partly sunny for the weekend. However, back to Monday, it will be again with the chance of showers. That's your focus on weather.
There seems to be an app for almost everything. Apple and Google are working on one to track the coronavirus. The tech giants are teaming up to create software that will show health officials where people are gathering around the world. Each person would volunteer to download the app and share info on their wellness. Then health officials would be able to track those people through their phones and determine how and if the virus is being transmitted from person to person. Researchers at Apple say this could lead to a wide range of other health apps in the future. Pharmacy workers are highly exposed to the COVID-19 virus. They go to work every day, not knowing if they could come into contact with the virus at any moment. Our classmate Henry Flores knows this firsthand. He works in a pharmacy.
Maria Gutierrez is a pharmacy technician. Ever since the COVID-19 pandemic, her life has dramatically changed.
It's such a really bad experience for me. I've been distanced from my family for weeks now.
Working in an environment where Gutierrez is highly exposed to the virus, she has decided to not come in physical contact with any of her family.
One of the things that I miss the most is going to see my family. I can't go visit them because I fear that I will put them on risk.
At work, Gutierrez and her coworkers are also having to adjust to the new mandatory procedures while working.
We have to wear masks, gloves, safety, 6 feet away.
For pharmacy workers, it can be difficult having to adjust to all the guidelines that change every day.
It's so exhausting. It makes me feel even more tired.
Just to be safe, Gutierrez uses hand sanitizer and even sprays disinfectant spray on her shoes before going into her home.
I fear that I'll catch the virus at work, and it's just been a nightmare.
Gutierrez hopes that the pandemic ends soon so she can live a normal life again. In Fresno, Henry Flores, Fresno State Focus.
Gutierrez will continue to take precautionary measures every day to ensure the safety of her health as well as her loved ones.
As we try to look on the bright side with these current stay-at-home orders, we have a story about air pollution, or really the lack of it. Air quality in the Northeast is dramatically improved. Satellite data from NASA shows a 30% drop in air pollution over major metropolitan cities. The same good news can be said in other parts of the world, and here on our West Coast as well. Fewer people are on the road, less car emissions are filling the air. Before COVID-19, our student reporter Zion Goodman took a look at gender housing and what student responses are. We'll have that story for you. Also coming up, we'll tell you about the recovery of a Lyft driver who was shot during an armed robbery. And DACA students are waiting to see what the Supreme Court will rule this summer and what will be the outcome of their future.
There are everyday actions to help prevent the spread of respiratory diseases. Wash your hands. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Stay home when you are sick. Cover your cough or sneeze. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects with household cleaning spray. For more information, visit cdc.gov/COVID-19. This message brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Being a college student can be a challenge, even without the pandemic. You have to balance class time, work, and study. I'll talk to 3 Fresno Pacific University students who are paying a little more to achieve their higher education. They say they want the same opportunities as anyone else.
Professor pushback.
Ana Sanchez and her friends are students at Fresno Pacific University, but their situation is different. They are 2 out of 30 FPU students who are protected under the program called Deferred Actions for Childhood Arrivals, also known as DACA.
It allowed me to apply for financial aid, and it opened up many doors.
But this program might soon come to an end. This summer, the Supreme Court will decide whether DACA is constitutional. Many recipients are concerned about their future.
I'd love to stay. And other than that, I feel like hopefully it'll be okay.
But not every student feels concerned.
To me, DACA has been a privilege, and if it's time for me to stop having that privilege, I'm fine with it because I want there to be a more permanent solution.
Jesus is confident that Congress will pass a bill that moves away from DACA towards a path that will lead to citizenship.
I want something effective that people can apply, not just something that people will wait for. I just hope Congress can be active in looking at all the alternatives, not just 1 or 2.
Because so much of their contribution isn't recognized by Americans, they will continue to show that they do matter.
Undocumented individuals have had the chance to prove themselves, and DACA recipients have also had to prove themselves to the United States that we are worthy candidates of staying here.
They have no other choice but wait and see what the Supreme Court will rule.
I think it makes us stronger.
With this message of hope, they will continue to fight and show that they are worthy of staying.
With that message of hope, Ana, Jesus, and Leonardo will continue to attend Fresno Pacific University, and they will graduate this May and looks forward to giving back to the undocumented community.
Many universities offer gender-mixed community student housing, but not Fresno State. In this story put together before the coronavirus pandemic, Zion Goodman tells us why students are pushing to get the policy changed.
Asher Morley lives in the Fresno State dorms, but has never really felt at home due to the lack of gender-mixed community-style wings.
As a trans person, it's especially important to me because having gender-inclusive housing would help me feel a lot more comfortable and safe and have an actual place to belong in the communities.
All community-style dorm wings are separated by gender, making it difficult for transitioning or non-binary students to have a comfortable place to stay. Student housing is actively working toward making changes that improve the quality of life for students.
So a lot of what we do to try to improve the way of living is listening to the residents. So if that means conducting surveys or just getting to know our residents better one-on-one.
Mixed community-style living isn't simply a desire for some, but a necessity.
I would live in the men's wing, but I don't feel safe. There is a guy who lives there who showed that there are people on our campus who hate trans people and honestly would like to hurt us.
Most don't know that student housing has already started working towards a gender-mixed community option. They have plans to start renovating restrooms in the community-style halls within the next few years to make it possible.
In our renovations and in all of our conversations, that's the direction housing is moving to, is to make that so both we can mix our genders on the wings, and so it's not all just gender identified as male or female.
For now, suite-style housing is the only gender mix option available, but for a slightly higher cost than community style. At Fresno State, Zion Goodman, Fresno State Focus.
Fresno State student housing is pushing to slowly begin renovations as soon as its budget allows.
Before this pandemic, I started doing a story about a Central Valley Lyft driver. He was shot in an attempted armed robbery last September. Now a paraplegic with a bullet still in his spine, he is showing signs of recovery. Matthew Gutierrez used to drive for Lyft. When he was napping in his car late at night, he was approached by 3 men who attempted to rob him. The confrontation ended with gunshots and with Gutierrez losing the ability to use his legs. But he is fighting the odds, and it's starting to look like he might beat them.
When I felt the bullet struck, my legs went numb and I went to the ground. Before I couldn't move legs at all. Now I can kick my legs out a little bit, so I do have functionality. And at this point, and even with physical therapy, the goal is to stand.
Whether he gets full use of his legs back or not, Gutierrez's character has not changed.
Before the injury, he was caring, loving, giving, thoughtful, conscious of the people around him and always being thoughtful towards their well-being. And zero has changed. Nothing has changed.
And besides his character, his faith in God also remains unwavered.
I always keep one scripture in mind, and that's it's in 1 Peter, I think it is, and it says that all flesh is grass, everything fades, but one thing that remains is the Word of God. That's one thing that's always kept me with a positive focus.
Although Gutierrez stays positive, his mother says it's been difficult.
Not seeing him being able to do what he wants to do and go where he needs to go, that's been the hardest, I think, for me.
While he works toward recovery, Gutierrez is focusing on what he can do rather than what he can't.
The arm use is still there, and that's always a victory because, I can still play, I can still use my talent in the places where my heart lies, and with the church and just serving the Lord first and foremost.
Using his talents while he learns to use his legs. In Fresno, Joanne Voss, Fresno State Focus. Right now, Matthew is concentrating on walking again. He won't be returning to lift.
So far during this stay-at-home order, I've been trying to learn Korean and picking up new hobbies, just doing random things. What have you been up to, Mayra?
Daisy, well, I've been getting more active and working out almost every day from our, normal lives, which we considered. I would always have a hard time fitting working out in my schedule. And now I'm doing it almost 7 days a week and I'm seeing results. So that's something I'm proud of. But please remember to stay at home and step foot outside only for essential purposes.
We will see you next week on Fresno State Focus for our final English show of the semester. A Spanish newscast will come right after that. Goodbye.